watching Numbskull News. And today, of course, we're at the end of the Big 12 season, and we're going to talk about head coaches. I made a video earlier on in the season talking about the hot seat right in the middle of the season. And now I'm going to talk about the end of the season and who's on the hot seat and who isn't. So let's get going. Well, as you can see, old Dana Holgorsen has paid the ultimate price. He is out of there. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. I know he hasn't had the best luck in recruiting. He hasn't done a great job of that. But I still think he's a pretty good head coach. And, you know, the Cougars coming into the Big 12, it was always going to be tough. It was tough for all the newbies coming in. The only way that really makes sense is that he probably rubbed some people the wrong way within the school. However, let's talk about the rest of these people. Now, I need to let you know what these symbols mean. First of all, you got the big igloo. That means it's cold as ice. There is no hot seat, nowhere near one. The second tier down, there may be a little bit of smoke. There's some warmth there. All right, no fire, nothing like that, but definitely a little bit of smoke. And you can see where there could be some trouble later on. And of course, the grill, which means their ass is directly on the grill. There's some heat. There's griddle marks. There's the whole thing. It's unpleasant. So the future's uncertain right there. It's time to start putting together a winning season. And of course, there is firm in the fire hot seat. Your ass should probably be fired if you're here, or it's going to be fired eventually. So let's start this thing off with Neal Brown. West Virginia ends up 8-4. Okay, 8-4. They have a 6-3 conference record. That's pretty damn good. 6-3 in conference, 8-4 overall. You can hang your hat on that. The biggest glaring problem with West Virginia is that good teams like Oklahoma, Penn State, that variety of team has whooped their ass. And, you know, getting beat by Houston probably wasn't a good look either. But I will say old Neal deserves to be around for at least another year. I think a lot of that smoke has cleared off for him. There's still smoke, but I don't think the heat is ratcheted up like it once was. So I'll put old Neal Brown where there's still smoke with him. Not everybody's thrilled with him, but I think he's doing a pretty good job. 8-4 is a pretty nice season. So let's see where he goes next year. That's just my opinion. Unless you can land some insane coach, I think that's where you land. And we got Kansas. Lance Leipold is going nowhere. Cold as ice. He's got that damn thing rocking and rolling. Any Jayhawk fan should be extraordinarily proud of the direction that they're headed in. And remember, before the season, what did I tell all you guys? They were going to be a hell of a lot better. Finished the season also 8-4, like West Virginia. 5-4 in conference. All right. There's some work to be done there, but they got the coach. I believe they can get it done. And those Kansas schools, I mean, they're just not disappointing. Kansas State, no, they didn't make the Big 12 conference game this year, but still a damn nice year. Another 8-4 team, 6-3 in conference, just like Neal Brown. So not going anywhere. How about the worst team? The worst team in the Big 12, the Cincinnati Bearcats. Really disappointing season. I don't think many of us are very surprised by a 3-9 record. I'm a little surprised with 1-8. I thought they would at least get one of the hateful eight. They would knock one of them off like the other teams did. But, you know, that's the first year of Coach Satterfield going to a new conference. Lost a lot of guys. A lot of guys followed the old coach. Other guys went to the NFL. Hard to replace it there in Cincinnati. But let's see what he does from this point on. Keep in mind, all right, he just came from Louisville, who just went 10-2. Those are his players. Those are Satterfield's players in Louisville. It just had an outstanding season. So let's see what Satterfield can build there in Cincinnati. When you have this kind of season, there's going to be a little smoke. That's just the way it is. So that's where he needs to be. He's not cold as ice, but but he's not in danger yet. BYU 5-7, all right, 2-7 in conference, not great, but we know it was going to be tough coming in. BYU has an arrow pointed up. I think they competed hard as hell all year long. And Coach Sitake is fantastic. I think he's a great coach. Great addition to the Big 12. BYU is a fabulous addition to the Big 12. That coach ain't going nowhere anytime soon. I think he's a really, really good coach. And they're not looking to change anything right now. Cold as ice, baby. Now let's talk about Matt Campbell. All right. Matt Campbell had a damn good year, I think. Just to me, overall record of 7-5, that's pretty good, considering nobody had them doing anything. West Virginia was picked to be last. All right, and they're definitely not last. As a matter of fact, I think they finished fourth. I think they finished fourth in the conference. That's pretty damn good. Iowa State finished one right behind them, fifth in the conference. So no, Matt Campbell shouldn't be going anywhere. He pulled off a nice year for that program, despite the gambling crap, injuries, everything else. I think he's doing a damn good job. You want to keep Matt Campbell at Iowa State. And you know what? I'm going to put him as cold. Igloo cold. That's where I got Matt Campbell. Now, if they come back next year and they're 5-7 instead of 7-5, there may be some smoke. But right now, I think he's good. I think he did his program some justice this year. Joey McGuire. All right. I think Texas Tech has got themselves a good coach in Joey McGuire. Next year, you're talking about the top recruiting class in all the Big 12 next year. Texas Tech. That's Joey McGuire. The man's plugged into Texas as a former high school coach. He's doing it on that level. We need to see it more on the field. This was still a disappointing season, even though they're still bowl eligible. But this was a lot of people's dark horse before the season. And starting week 1, that shit was gone. Okay? There was no more dark horse after that first loss. But having said that, Coach McGuire is still good. As of right now, no smoke. Now let's talk about Sonny Dykes of my beloved Horned Frogs. So the next year after they go to the national title, they go 5-7. Don't get bowl eligible. That's a big drop. It really is. That sucks. I can give you reasons for it. They lost a lot of guys to the NFL, yada, yada, yada. But they got killed a lot of times they shouldn't have been killed. Now, they played Texas very, very well. They had some close games that they won last year. They didn't win this year, obviously. Is Sonny Dykes on any kind of hot seat? Hell no, he's not. As I said, 1 year removed from going to the national title, from beating Michigan to give the Big 12 their first playoff win? No, he's not going anywhere. But there needs to be definite improvement. But I think he's the coach, no doubt, to get TCU back to the top of this conference. Yeah, old Coach Dykes still cold as ice. And just like we all thought, UCF was the best of the new 4 coming in. As a matter of fact, they're the only ones to be bowl eligible. 6-6. That is a great year coming in, taking that step up to the power rankings, to the autonomous conference level, the Big 12 from the American. Fabulous job by Coach Malzahn. He ain't going nowhere. He is cold as ice. And holy shit. How did Oklahoma State, not Oklahoma State get to the Big 12 title game? Oh my freaking God. 9-3. 7-2 in conference. I mean, how this thing started, no one saw that coming. They were looking like a huge disappointment, but I'll be damned. Mike Gundy does it again. Shows up when he's not supposed to. He's supposed to die on the vine like a gentleman. He doesn't. He starts reeling off wins that he's not supposed to. Wins Bedlam, the last Bedlam. How in the hell? No. Mike Gundy. And I can guarantee you there's people within the program, people above his pay grade, he probably rubs the wrong way. And you know what? They can all kiss his ass because he ain't going nowhere. Coach Gundy, cold as ice right now. And that, of course, brings us to Dave Aranda. Dave Aranda. I mean, look, they're 3-9 overall record, 2-7 in conference. Somehow, that's supposed to me, that's the worst team. It's between them and Cincinnati. I know Baylor, for whatever reason, they have them ranked in the final rankings in the Big 12 ahead of Houston. Houston was better, and Houston was bad. But Houston's got at least a few wins, like UTSA and West Virginia, that they can hang their hat on. Baylor doesn't. The best win they have is that comeback win in the bounce house at UCF. And that was a miracle, okay? But that thing is horrific. The offensive line is trash. All right? No wonder your quarterback is regressing. And it's not all his fault. He doesn't have an offensive line, doesn't have a run game. They can't run block, they can't pass block. That's a bad combo. That's just a bad combo. And that's all on the head coach. You got to have an offensive line in front of your quarterback to do something. Last year they were at 6-6. This year they're 3-9. They're pathetic. And there ain't no way, if I was in that school, that I would have assured Dave Aranda a job for next year. No way. They did it, and it's stupid. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying fire the man, but I would definitely look around before I say, okay, we're going to keep him. I would look around. I would call Gary Patterson. I would at least get an interview on the down low. Don't make anything public. I would maybe talk to a few other guys out there before I even think about assuring Dave Aranda another season. However, they did it. They're saying, okay, Coach Aranda's coming back. Okay. I mean, this thing is not pointing in the right direction at all. Even their defense sucks. And Dave Aranda is an outstanding defensive coach. He's a really good defensive coach, and that defense sucks. One of the reasons it sucks, because the offense can't do anything. The defense is always on the field. That's a detriment. So anytime your offensive line sucks, your whole team is going to suck. And everyone's going to suck. The coaches are going to suck. The fans are going to suck. Everybody sucks because of that offensive line, because of the coaches. That's really what has regressed there. But they're going to give them another year. Okay. I mean, look, like I said, I'm not saying fire the man for sure. Okay. I don't have, I mean, if that's your final conclusion, maybe after a month, give it a month. Can we have a month? You at least let the man sweat it out a little bit. Maybe, something, right? I'm at least going to talk to some people. I know it's hard to replace a coach. You got, the portal stuff's going to open up, and the recruiting's already starting, and I get all that, right? We all get all that. But damn, the guy barely uses the transfer portal. He's not apparently that big on the NIL. He's old school. But guess what? This isn't old school anymore. Recruiting is the transfer portal. It is NIL. You got to do it, or you ain't going to recruit jack. That's where you're at. I'm just saying the powers that be, the AD and the president, I think they screwed up. Because by saying, oh, he's here next year, you got to put a little pressure on the guy. I mean, I'm sure he's under his own pressure. I'm sure he puts it on himself. I'm sure he's competitive and he wants to win. He wants to be a winning football coach. I get it. He wants to earn his salary. I get it. He's a good man. I get it. I like Coach Aranda. I think he's freaking awesome. But the results have been straight up embarrassing. And Baylor's too good of a program for 3-9. I'm just putting it out there. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell right now. UCF should be a better program and have a better team and have a better record right now than Baylor. That 3 wins better. I mean, come on. That's horrible. And I'm not saying fire him, but at least make him sweat it out a little bit. But you didn't want to do that, fine. But let's see, Colorado's in the same boat right now. I mean, they got a joke of an offensive line too. And they got a really good quarterback. But does it matter if you have a really good quarterback if you can't protect them? If you can't have a run game, you can't support them. That's what's going on in Baylor. And that's offensive lines don't grow on trees. That's hard. We'll see how all that crap works out. But I think if you look at it, most of these coaches are pretty safe. There's a little smoke with a couple of them, I think. I think Neil Brown isn't totally safe. All right. He put together a good year, 8-4, towards the top of the Big 12. That should earn him another year. Let's see what he does next year. Can he build on that? Can he possibly get to 9-3? Can he be competitive towards the end of the year? Can the arrow be pointed up? Can he get some big wins? But for most of these coaches, I think they're, like I said, cold as ice. They're safe. They're pretty far from that proverbial hot seat. And what does that mean for the Big 12? That means we're doing pretty damn good. That we got a lot of really good coaches in this league. Whether their team's a little down this year or the arrow pointing up high as hell. Not bad year for these guys. I don't think so. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'll be back with some other crap some other time. Bye. Well, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today we're talking about the end of the Big 12 season. Hey, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And now that we're... Hey, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And... Motherfucker.